Okay, we are all done. We're all done with the closet. You can see. I know, Norman's real happy about it. I know, are you happy? Say, I'm happy we got the closet cleaned out. No? You're not happy? What do you say? Say, I'm happy we got the closet cleaned out. Yeah, and of course, he cannot get near these cables in the house, and especially now during pandemic, they're all over the house, without either chewing them, ruining them, eating them, or just getting tangled in them. So Norman keeps us going, keeps us amused and up to date on how to replace equipment. Okay, now I have everything pretty much organized, okay? Which is great. It wasn't too bad to start with, but there were a few things that I wanted to put in. He is biting my feet. That herding instinct for shepherds is so powerful. They just completely lose their minds. They want to herd. They want to like nip at the feet. And he goes along like this. He looks like one of those precious swimmer puppies, but he's not, thank God. And he just like nips at my feet. And he literally crawls like, does that belly army crawl. So funny. So this is my stack of items to donate. There were a bunch of old towels and sheets up there that because they were stored so carefully and were so, look at this. Look. Norman, what are you doing? This puppy, y'all. No, do not jump up there. He's also a jumper. This stuff I think is good family stuff and just needs like a careful laundering. And this also I think too is somebody's baby blanket. But the rest of this stuff is just junk that can, not junk, but it can be reused, and we send everything. Really? You just want to get all the way under there? Norman, he is going to go all the way up in there. What do you think? Right? It's okay. This is what I used to do. I used to just like ball it up and get it sort of flat so that I could then put the flat sheet with it and jam it somewhere, just to get it off the floor. Right? I mean, come on. I can hear you all out there saying, yeah, that's right. That's what we do, Lynn. Okay. So this is how to fold a fitted sheet. It's funny because I learned this a few years ago when it was obvious to me that we were never going to renovate this house to the point where we get more storage. Like, we built the garage and we built it oversized so that we had a place for the cars and the boats and all of the water toys. And then the space above it we left unfinished so that I think my husband has ideas of making that into a wood shop. And it slowly is becoming a wood shop. So I think that's what it's going to be. It's not going to be a Pilates studio for me, unfortunately, but or a yoga studio. But right now it's kind of storage that we have to keep in those horrible plastic bins because it's not finished. So, you know, mostly the birds get in there. We'll have evidence of rodents, which I don't mind. They can come in and go out. I don't mind, but I don't want them to damage anything. And the other problem we have in these homes is bats in North Carolina. I guess in every state. They're mammals, bats, so they like someplace, you know, inside, like the rest of us mammals. So the storage situation evolving over my life has always looked like, we're not gonna get any storage for Lynn's household needs. So what I learned to do is I actively searched for a method to fold things and store them in such a way that it was like militarily precise. Because that's what you have to do when you don't have a lot of storage space. Okay, so this is what I used to do. I used to sort of lay it out flat, and oftentimes I would lay it on the floor, which sometimes would have dog hair on it, and then the sheet would get dirty. And this is what I used to do years and years and years ago. Just lay it flat and then try and match up the edges. So here is a seam. I'll come over there and show you. I would try to match up the seams of the four corners, right? So here is a seam right along here that ends in this point. So this is where you put your mattress corner, right? Right along the seam. So I tried to match up the seams and I tried to do all this faff, okay? Because no one I knew how to fold a fitted sheet. Okay, so that's the history, that's the story. Now here is what you do. You can take your fitted sheet and you can put it ever which way you want. You can put it on a chair, whatever you want to do. You start at one corner and put your hand in like that. Okay? Then you take and find the other corner of the fitted sheet like that. So those are your two corners of your mattress, right? There's the seams, or rather the seams, where the seams are sewn together, the edges. And then you put them together like this, okay? On the right side, you bring your hand out. Oh, let me start over. Sorry about that. So you put one hand in the corner, the other hand in the other corner, and you put your hands together like this. Just like a puppet, okay? Just have the corners match, okay? And then flip this side over, and now you have one hand inside the fitted sheet, okay? And the two corners are right here, one on top of the other, okay? So this is what it looks like, okay? Very simple. And you can rewind if you missed anything. And just lay it down, then take the other side and just follow along so that you have everything laying flat and it's not twisted one way or the other, okay? And you find your edge right here, or rather your corner. I keep saying edge, it's corner. Find your corner, okay? And then find your other corner, okay? Here it is right here. Just put your hand in there. And there you go. You don't even have to do the method I used a minute ago because it's already, okay, I'll do that again, already forming the shape that we wanted, okay? Find your corner. There's your seam right there. See, there's your arm right there, okay? And then the other corner, there's your seam right there. And then just take this corner, pick up this corner, and drop it so that the two corners are on top of each other, okay? So, then just lay it down. Now what you are seeing here is the formation of what you want. You want to take that round shape and you want to square it off, okay? Now that you have a somewhat squared off shape and you've already noticed that everything's kind of coming together, you want to just go back over and square it off for good, okay? So take your edges, this is your corner right here, your two corners, and you just want to push the sheet up in there, push it up. Now I'm super precise, so I will come along here and I'll like make the edges nice and smooth and come around here and make everything really like tight. But you don't have to do that. All you really want to do is to make your square. This would be a great lesson for kids at home, how to turn a circle into a square. So you just want to have edge, edge, and I'll pull it down just a little bit. Let me move this camera down just a little bit for you. Okay. You just want your square, edge, 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 okay? Now you have the beginning of what you're going to shape into a square so you can put it in the closet, okay? So, take this edge and bring it to meet this edge, all right? That's it. Super simple. Okay, now, because I'm extra, I have to get all the wrinkles out, right? Then take this edge and bring it to meet this edge, okay? Look, square, well, rectangle, really long rectangle. So you're almost there to where it's ready to put in the cupboard. Okay, now this is a kind of a method of folding that I found online. It is a Japanese technique, along with the German dog barking at something. Norman, come. 1 sec. Okay, as usual, he's barking at nothing. Now, he's standing at the foot of the bed like, what is that up there? I think he's looking at these. They're new. This is a Japanese method. I'll try to find the link and put it in the description box below so that you can see the actual, had my head cut off there. You can see the actual formal, official method of folding that I use now. Years ago, I used this method. You take your long rectangle that we just went over how to do, and I would fold it in half. Okay? Then I would take and divide it into fourths. Okay? So on a sheet like this size, you basically have two folds. You have one here, and one in the middle. Okay? You see that makes four little bricks. And I would fold it once down like that, once down like that, and then in the middle. There is your perfectly square fitted sheet that is probably 10 inches by 6 inches by about 3 inches maybe. Okay, the before and the after. Now, the method that I use now is this method. So you'll see here in a second. So you take the same long method and you fold it into thirds, okay? So you basically have this tail end and you have this section right here. So this has been folded over here like this, and then you have this section that's a single section and this section that's a double section. 1, 2, okay? Then you come back to this section and you fold it in half. And actually, nope, that's right, fold it in half. Then you take this section and you fold it over like that. And then you have your perfect square that is designed to stand up on its own. Okay? So the Japanese fold paper, they fold fabric, they fold a lot of things to make them into a tool or into some kind of helper item, like a basket or a bag or a rucksack, or, you know, everything they do when they're folding something is taking an item like a sheet of paper or a fabric sheet and making it into something beautiful, something purposeful. They are amazing. In fact, my nephew was so intrigued by the Japanese folding of paper. I think it is called, I can't think of what it's called. It's not ikebana. That is the design of the little mini floral items, like little mini trees. I'll put some links down below of the Japanese different kinds of arts that came out of Japanese culture and tradition that allow us to fold sheets properly. Anyway, he found it so intriguing that he went on to study paper science up in the state of New York, and he now is a paper engineer. Isn't that amazing? And so he goes around and he designs, builds, maintains, repairs, and then designs again machines that work to make paper and to do different things with paper. He's super smart, and I'm super proud of him. Okay, so coming back again to this long rectangle. Excuse me, it's really quiet in the house right now, and I'm wondering, Norman! He scared me. I could hear him chewing on something, and I just went right to Mama Panic, because what happens is he chews something and then he gets it like stuck in his throat, and it sits in his stomach and he can't digest it, and then he starts throwing up, and it just breaks my mama's heart. It scares me, so I scream at him like that. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do that again, and I'm gonna make it more slightly different. Okay, so I'm gonna fold it in thirds again. I'm gonna make it smaller, and then I'm gonna fold it again to equal parts. So I'm gonna fold it so that this section is like 3. So watch 1 second, I can't explain it. All right, here we go. Fold it here, fold it over, and then there's an equal section here. This is 1, 2, 3, and this is just 1, 2 layers, and then this is 1. 3, 2, 1. Now, I'm just going to fold this again to meet this section. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now I'm gonna get this nice and tight, and then I'm gonna fold this one over. There we go. Now, what I do is I take this section, or rather this fitted sheet, and I put it on a chair or on a table so that that let it sit for a minute while I fold looking as possible, because then your cupboard looks nice and neat. So this edge is nice and smooth. This edge is kind of messy because that's where some of the edges that I knew that was gonna happen. I mean, this is just life with a puppy, honestly. You gotta be patient. Sometimes I'm not that patient. As I was telling that story, I was hearing some like ripping sounds, and so I stepped away from you for a second, went downstairs. I was hoping sometimes Norman will get into the pantry and, you know, pull things off the shelf because he's a puppy in a big dog body. No, he had turned over his big pillow and he was ripping up the bottom of the case. 8 months, 8 years. Really hard, really easy. There's a balance between disciplining a dog or a child, really, or horse, whatever your family member is. There's a balance between the discipline they need to understand that this is not accepted behavior in the family or in the pack, and I'm going to object to the way you're behaving, and doing that in such a way that you teach a lesson, and not you maybe will make them fearful or change their personality. You know, with a child, you don't want to take away their creativity. If they're being creative on the wall, though, you don't want that either. So you have to kind of redirect the creativity to appropriate materials. Well, with a dog, you know, he's got this extra energy, and so you don't want him to rip up the furniture to burn that energy off. You want him to work in training, or, you know, walk with you or something to burn that energy. So it's always an effort to figure out how to balance that. So I think I got it, but sometimes, some days I think he's not getting it. Up north or further south might just put their stuff away in October for the summer, put their summer weight stuff away and bring out their winter weight items. I have to keep everything kind of accessible here because the weather changes all the time, and you never know what the temperature is going to be. What the weather is going to do in central North Carolina is a huge, interesting point. If you like interesting weather, come on over to central North Carolina. Oh Lord, I am a cold weather lover. I love the snow. I even love the ice if I'm at home. I like to be as cold as possible. I don't know why that is. My twin sister is the same, and she likes the cold so much that she moved herself and her family to central New York State so that she could actually have winter in wintertime. I couldn't do that because of my job, and our family is based here, and they're raising their families here, and my parents are here, and so she got to escape the weather of North Carolina, and I had to stay here. Oh, no, I'm kidding. I'm super blessed. However, if I could, I'd have a summer house in Newfoundland or maybe Scotland. That would be so great.